10 clear signs the universe wants you to be with this person. My child, have you ever felt like something bigger than you is quietly guiding your love life, even when you are not trying to control it? Sometimes the universe does not shout, it whispers, and those whispers often come through small moments that feel ordinary on the surface but meaningful deep inside. When the universe wants you to be with a certain person, it does not force you. It begins to line things up in ways that slowly wake you up to what is already meant for you. One of the first ways this happens is through repeated meetings that feel impossible to ignore. You may notice the same person appearing again and again in your life, different places, different situations, no clear reason. At first you might brush it off as coincidence, but after a while it starts to feel strange, almost intentional, as if life itself keeps placing this person back in your path, no matter how random it seems. These moments carry a quiet message. The universe works with patterns, not accidents. When two paths cross over and over, it is often because there is something important meant to unfold between them. Not every repeated meeting is meant to become romance, but every one carries meaning. Sometimes this person is meant to teach you something. Sometimes they are meant to walk with you longer. And sometimes they are meant to become someone deeply personal to your journey. What matters is not just that you meet them again, but how you feel when it happens. There is often a subtle shift inside you, a sense of curiosity, awareness, or a gentle pull that says, "Pay attention." These encounters wake something up in you, even if you don't understand why yet. That inner reaction is the real sign. The universe speaks through feeling more than logic. Another clear signal shows up as calm, not urgency. When the universe is aligning you with the right person, you stop feeling desperate to make things happen. You stop chasing love out of fear. Instead, a strange peace settles in. You may still want love, but you no longer feel like you're running out of time. You trust that what is meant for you will arrive when it's supposed to. This calm is powerful. It means you are no longer trying to fill a void. You are no longer choosing people just to avoid being alone. You become comfortable standing on your own, and that inner balance changes what you attract. When you stop forcing love, love finds you more easily. The universe responds to patience far more than pressure. At this stage, outside voices lose their grip on you. Society may rush you, friends may question you, but inside you feel steady. You know rushing the wrong connection will only delay the right one. This trust is not passive, it is active alignment. You are giving the universe space to work without interference. As this alignment deepens, something else happens quietly. You begin losing interest in people who once seemed appealing. Conversations feel shallow. Connections feel empty. Old patterns no longer satisfy you. This can feel confusing at first. You might wonder if something is wrong with you, but this is not loss. This is clarity. When your inner awareness grows, your standards change naturally. You are no longer drawn to chaos, inconsistency, or emotional confusion. You start wanting depth, safety, and honesty without having to ask for it. This shift is not about judgment, it's about resonance. You simply no longer match what doesn't match you. This is one of the strongest signs the universe is preparing you for a specific connection. It clears away distractions so you don't miss what truly matters. The wrong people lose their hold on you because they no longer fit the version of you that is emerging. This clearing creates space for someone who can meet you where you truly are. Then come the moments that feel almost playful, yet meaningful. Small coincidences begin stacking up. You hear the same song repeatedly. You notice the same name everywhere. Certain numbers, places, or themes keep showing up. These patterns feel personal, as if life is leaving breadcrumbs just for you. These moments are not meant to be overanalyzed. They are meant to be noticed. The universe uses repetition to draw attention. It nudges you gently, saying, "Look here." Often, these signs are connected to a person or a feeling that keeps returning to your awareness. The more you resist noticing, the louder the pattern becomes. Sometimes these signs appear before you even fully understand who they are pointing toward. Other times, they begin after you've met someone who left a strong impression on you. Either way, the message is the same. You are moving in the right direction. Something meaningful is unfolding. And then there is recognition. Not attraction, not excitement. Recognition. You meet someone, and something inside you relaxes. There is no need to perform, no need to explain yourself too much. Conversation flows without effort. Silence feels comfortable. It feels familiar, even if logic says it shouldn't. This kind of connection does not rush. It does not overwhelm. It feels grounding. You feel more like yourself, not less. The universe often signals true alignment through ease. When something is meant for you, it doesn't drain you, it strengthens you. If any of this resonates with you so far, take a moment and reflect. Which sign feels closest to your current experience? I'd love to know your thoughts, so feel free to share in the comments. What's important to remember is this: the universe does not test you with confusion when something is right. It prepares you with clarity. It softens your fear. It sharpens your awareness. And step by step, without forcing anything, it guides you toward the person who aligns with the version of you that you are becoming. My child, as this alignment continues, you may notice something changing deep inside you. It's not loud and it's not dramatic, but it is steady. You begin to feel a sense of inner peace that doesn't depend on anyone else. Your emotions settle. Old wounds don't sting the same way. Situations that once triggered fear or insecurity no longer have the same power over you. This inner calm is one of the strongest signals that the universe is preparing you for a meaningful connection. Inner peace does not mean your life is perfect. It means you are no longer fighting yourself. You accept where you are. You stop replaying the past over and over. You stop worrying so much about how things should look. When you reach this place, your energy changes. You stop attracting people who reflect your pain, and you begin attracting people who reflect your growth. This peace acts like a signal. It tells the universe you are ready to love without losing yourself. Relationships that arrive during this phase are not about fixing each other. They are about sharing life from a place of wholeness. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it first helps you feel complete on your own. Alongside this peace, your intuition becomes sharper. You sense things before they happen. You feel guided without knowing exactly why. Sometimes this guidance comes through thoughts that repeat gently in your mind. Other times, it comes through feelings you can't explain. You just know when something is right, and you also know when something is not. This inner knowing often shows up strongly around one particular person. You may feel drawn to them even when there is no logical reason. You may think about them randomly, without forcing it. The connection doesn't feel obsessive. It feels calm, steady, and natural, like a quiet pull rather than a rush. Dreams can also begin to play a role during this time. You might dream about someone you haven't met yet, or dream about a person from your waking life in a deeper, more symbolic way. These dreams often feel vivid and emotional. They stay with you long after you wake up. They may not always make sense, but they feel important. Dreams are one of the ways the subconscious mind processes alignment. When someone is meant to play a meaningful role in your life, your inner world often senses it before your outer world catches up. Dreams can prepare you emotionally, helping you feel familiar with an energy before you encounter it fully in reality. Sometimes you meet someone after dreaming about them, and the recognition is immediate. Other times, the dreams come after meeting them, as if your inner self is confirming what your heart already sensed. Either way, these dreams are not random. They are reflections of a deeper awareness forming within you. As all of this unfolds, another shift becomes clear. You start letting go of the past without forcing yourself to. Old relationships no longer define you. Old pain no longer controls your choices. You don't need closure from everyone. You don't need answers for every ending. You simply release what no longer belongs to you. Letting go is not forgetting. It is freeing. You stop carrying emotional weight that was never meant to last forever. You forgive without reopening doors. You learn without staying stuck. This release creates space, and the universe never fills space with emptiness. It fills it with what aligns next. This stage is important because true connection cannot enter a life that is overcrowded with old attachments. When you make room emotionally, you make room energetically. You become available, not just in action but in spirit. This availability is something the universe responds to quickly. You may also notice that when you think about love now, it feels different. It feels softer, less dramatic, more real. You are no longer looking for intensity. You are looking for truth. You are no longer chasing sparks. You are looking for warmth that lasts. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment and reflect on what you have already released in your life. You're welcome to share in the comments what you feel you've outgrown recently. Then, sometimes, when you least expect it, the universe brings someone back into your life. This could be someone you once knew briefly, someone you lost touch with, or someone who appeared before but at the wrong time. When they return, everything feels different, not because they changed alone, but because you did too. Timing is one of the universe's favorite tools. People often meet before they are ready to truly connect. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it may introduce them early, let life shape both of you separately, and then bring you together again when the conditions are right. This reunion feels calm, not chaotic. There is no need to recreate the past. There is no pressure to rush. The connection unfolds naturally, as if life itself is allowing it this time. Conversations go deeper, understanding comes easier. The bond feels more stable than before. Even if the person is not from your past, the feeling can still be familiar. It can feel like meeting someone you already know on a soul level. There is trust without proof, comfort without effort. This is not illusion, it is recognition shaped by readiness. The universe does not always give signs all at once. It layers them. Peace leads to clarity. Clarity leads to release. Release leads to recognition. Each step prepares you for the next. When you look back, you realize nothing was random. Everything was shaping you for a specific meeting. What matters most is not chasing these signs, but staying present with yourself as they appear. The universe works best when you are grounded, open, and honest with your own heart. Love guided by alignment does not need force. It grows on its own. As you move forward, trust the process unfolding around you. Pay attention to how you feel. Not just what happens. The universe speaks through emotion, intuition, and timing. When all three begin to align around one person, it is never by accident. As the journey continues, the universe begins to communicate in ways that feel deeply personal. At this stage, the signs are no longer just external. They move inward. You start noticing how your body reacts when you think about a certain person. Your breathing softens, your shoulders relax. There is no tension, no tightness, no fear-based excitement. Instead, there is steadiness. This physical response matters more than dramatic emotions because the body often recognizes safety and truth before the mind does. When the universe wants you to be with someone, your nervous system feels calm around them, even if your heart feels curious. You don't feel like you have to prove yourself. You don't feel the urge to impress or perform. You can simply exist. This sense of safety is rare, and it's one of the clearest indicators of genuine alignment. Another sign that grows stronger during this phase is how life begins to support the connection without struggle. Conversations happen at the right time. Messages come when needed. Meetings feel effortless to arrange. Even challenges feel manageable rather than overwhelming. The universe removes unnecessary resistance when something is meant to grow. This does not mean there are no obstacles. It means obstacles don't feel like warnings anymore. They feel like adjustments. Instead of pushing you apart, they teach you how to understand each other better. Instead of creating doubt, they build trust. The difference is subtle but powerful. You may also notice that your priorities start shifting naturally. Things that once mattered deeply lose importance. What rises instead is authenticity. You care less about appearances and more about honesty. You stop pretending to be okay when you're not. You speak more openly. And interestingly, the person the universe is guiding you toward responds well to this honesty. They don't retreat from your truth. They respect it. At this point, the connection begins to feel balanced. You give and receive without keeping score. There is no chasing, no withdrawing, no emotional games. The energy flows both ways. Even silence feels shared rather than empty. This balance is not something you can force. It happens when two people meet at the right level of emotional readiness. Another clear signal appears through your growth around this person. You don't feel smaller in their presence. You feel expanded. You are encouraged to grow, not controlled. You feel supported in becoming more yourself, not reshaped into someone else's expectations. The universe does not align you with people who limit your becoming. You may notice that being connected to this person inspires positive change. You want to take better care of yourself. You want to heal old patterns. You want to show up more fully in your life. This is not because they demand it, but because their presence brings out clarity. True alignment always raises your standard of living, emotionally and spiritually. As this unfolds, fear slowly loses its voice. You may still feel cautious, but it no longer controls your decisions. You stop asking, "What if it ends?" and start asking, "How can I be present now?" This shift from fear to presence is one of the biggest indicators that the universe is involved. You also begin trusting timing more deeply. You no longer try to rush outcomes or define labels too early. You allow things to unfold. And strangely, the more you let go of control, the more stable the connection becomes. The universe rewards patience with clarity. Sometimes during this stage, you receive confirmation through unexpected sources. A stranger says something that mirrors your thoughts. A book opens to a page that feels written just for you. A random conversation reflects exactly what you're experiencing. These moments are gentle confirmations, not commands. They simply remind you that you are not imagining the alignment you feel. It's important to understand that the universe does not communicate through fear or confusion. If something consistently brings anxiety, insecurity, or self-doubt, it is not alignment. True signs feel grounding even when they challenge you. They guide you forward, not backward. Another powerful sign is how conflict feels different with this person. Disagreements do not feel threatening. You don't fear abandonment during tension. You feel safe enough to express yourself honestly. Resolution matters more than winning. This emotional safety is a rare gift, and it does not appear by accident. You may also realize that you are no longer looking elsewhere, not out of obligation but out of clarity. Other options simply lose their appeal. Your energy feels focused without effort. This is not attachment, it is alignment. When something fits, you don't need to keep searching. At this stage, reflect on how your sense of self has evolved since this person entered your awareness. Have you become calmer, clearer, more honest? If so, the universe may be showing you exactly why this connection matters. You're welcome to share in the comments what changes you've noticed within yourself. The universe is patient. It doesn't rush love, and it doesn't test you with chaos when something is meant to last. It prepares you quietly, step by step, until the connection feels natural rather than dramatic. When love arrives through alignment, it doesn't overwhelm you, it steadies you. As you continue forward, remember this: the universe does not bring someone into your life to complete you. It brings them to walk beside the version of you that you have become. When both people arrive whole, love becomes a shared journey instead of a rescue mission. Trust what feels calm. Trust what grows slowly. Trust what allows you to be yourself without fear. These are not random feelings. They are signals, guiding you closer to the connection that fits your life, your growth, and your path. My child, as this connection continues to unfold, you may notice that your intuition becomes quieter but stronger at the same time. There is less overthinking and more knowing. You don't feel the need to constantly question where things are going. You don't replay conversations looking for hidden meanings. Instead, you feel steady. This calm certainty is one of the clearest signs the universe is guiding you in the right direction. When something is not meant for you, it creates noise in the mind. When something is meant for you, it brings clarity. Even if the future is not fully visible yet, you feel safe standing where you are. You trust that each step will reveal itself when the time is right. Another powerful sign during this phase is how challenges in your life begin to align instead of collide. Your personal growth, your emotional healing, and this connection start moving in the same direction. Nothing feels like it's pulling you apart. Instead, different areas of your life begin supporting one another. You feel more balanced overall, not split between love and self. You may also notice that you stop seeking validation from this person. You don't need constant reassurance. You don't need grand gestures to feel secure. The connection itself feels enough. This emotional independence is not distance, it's trust. And trust is the foundation of anything the universe intends to last. At this stage, communication feels natural and honest. You don't hide parts of yourself to maintain harmony. You speak your truth calmly. You listen without defensiveness. Even when conversations are deep or uncomfortable, they feel constructive, not threatening. This is another sign of alignment. The universe does not bring people together to silence each other. It brings them together to grow through honesty. You might also realize that your fears around love begin to dissolve. Old patterns that once repeated themselves no longer show up. You respond differently. You pause instead of reacting. You choose understanding over assumption. This change is not because the other person is perfect, but because the connection feels safe enough to break old cycles. Another sign appears in how the connection affects your future thinking. When you imagine what lies ahead, this person naturally fits into that picture without effort. You don't force them into your plans, they simply appear there. This is not fantasy, it's alignment between your inner direction and your emotional reality. At the same time, you don't feel afraid of losing yourself. Your individuality remains intact. You still have your interests, your goals, your sense of purpose. The universe never asks you to shrink for love. When something is right, it allows both people to expand. You may also notice a shift in how time feels with this person. Moments feel full, not rushed. Even ordinary experiences feel meaningful. No pressure to constantly entertain or impress. Presence becomes enough. This ease is not boredom, it's comfort rooted in connection. As this deepens, signs from the universe may become subtler but more personal. You may feel guided to make small choices that bring you closer together without force. A decision to go somewhere at a certain time. A sudden thought to reach out. These impulses feel gentle, not anxious. They feel aligned. When the universe is involved, things rarely feel forced. Opportunities arise naturally. Conversations happen when they are needed. Silence happens when reflection is needed. Everything has a rhythm that feels right, even when it's slow. Another sign you may notice is that external distractions lose their pull. You are not tempted by chaos or inconsistency anymore. Drama feels exhausting. You crave peace, and this connection offers that. This does not mean there are no emotions. It means emotions are processed, not projected. At this stage, you may look back at your past and realize how much you've changed. The things you once tolerated no longer make sense to you. The person you are now would not settle for what you accepted before. This awareness is important because it shows how the universe prepared you gradually, not suddenly. If you're reflecting on your journey and noticing how your standards and self-respect have grown, feel free to share that realization in the comments. One of the most reassuring signs during this phase is consistency. Words match actions. Energy remains steady. You don't feel like you're walking on emotional ground that could collapse at any moment. This stability is not dull, it's grounding. It allows love to grow roots instead of just sparks. You may also sense that lessons feel lighter now. Instead of painful endings, you experience gentle adjustments. Life no longer needs to push you hard to redirect you. You are listening. This cooperation between you and the universe makes everything flow more smoothly. As the connection matures, you stop asking for signs. You don't need constant confirmation anymore. The alignment becomes self-evident through how you feel, how you grow, and how your life unfolds. The universe steps back slightly, not because it has left, but because you now trust the path. This trust is key. It shows that you are no longer trying to control outcomes. You are participating in them. Love guided by the universe does not feel like guessing. It feels like unfolding. As you move forward, remember that true signs never rush you. They don't scare you into action. They invite you into presence. When love is aligned, it doesn't demand proof. It builds certainty through experience. You don't need to chase what is meant for you. You only need to stay honest, open, and grounded. The universe handles the rest, quietly arranging what aligns with the version of you that is ready to receive it. As everything comes together, you may notice that the biggest sign from the universe is not dramatic at all. It's simple. You feel at home, not in a physical place, but in a feeling. There is a sense of rightness that does not need explanation. You stop asking yourself whether this connection is real because it no longer feels like a question. It feels like recognition. At this stage, love feels steady instead of intense. You don't feel emotional highs followed by confusion. You feel balanced, secure, grounded. The universe often confirms alignment through stability, not fireworks. Fireworks fade quickly, stability stays. You may also notice that your fears about the future soften. Even if you don't know exactly where things are going, you're not afraid of where they might lead. You trust that whatever unfolds will be handled with care. This trust doesn't come from blind hope, it comes from how consistently supported you feel in the present. Another clear sign is mutual effort without force. Both of you show up naturally. There is no chasing, no emotional pulling, no guessing games. Interest is clear. Respect is mutual. You don't feel like you're giving more than you're receiving. The balance feels fair, calm, and natural. The universe does not create one-sided connections when something is meant to last. Alignment always flows both ways. You may also notice that your connection does not isolate you from life. Instead, it integrates into it. Your friendships remain intact. Your goals remain important. Your sense of purpose grows stronger. Love does not consume you. It complements you. This is important because anything that pulls you away from yourself is not guided. True alignment brings you closer to who you really are. You don't lose your voice. You don't abandon your values. You don't shrink. You expand. Another powerful sign is how conflict transforms. Problems don't feel like threats. They feel like conversations. Even difficult moments carry respect. You don't fear being misunderstood forever. You trust that clarity will come. This emotional safety is rare, and it's one of the strongest indicators of divine timing. You may also feel gratitude instead of anxiety. Gratitude for the journey that shaped you. Gratitude for the lessons that prepared you. Gratitude even for the delays, because now you understand why they were necessary. This perspective shift is a sign of maturity and alignment. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it doesn't rush the ending of the story. It slows you down so you can fully experience it. You become present. You stop living in what if. You start living in what is. You may realize that you no longer seek signs as reassurance. You simply observe how things unfold. You trust the feeling of peace. You trust the growth. You trust the consistency. The universe has done its job by bringing clarity. Now it allows you to live it. At this point, love feels less like destiny chasing you and more like you walking calmly into the right place at the right time. No struggle, no resistance, just alignment. Take a moment now to reflect on your own journey. Which sign felt strongest to you? Which one made you pause and think, that's exactly what I'm experiencing? If you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments. Remember this above all else. The universe never confuses you when something is meant for you. It prepares you, it steadies you, it softens your fear and strengthens your trust. And when the connection finally arrives, it feels less like something new and more like something you've been slowly growing into all along. What is meant for you does not pass you by. It finds you when you are ready to receive it, recognize it, and walk with it forward, calmly, honestly, and fully present.